here is, and this is from Nerd Cookies, actually, a tweet that got a lot of traction. Follow nerd at nerd_cookies on X. Eve Kim is the Rey Skywalker of Tron ARES. Elaine, care to explain your post?
Yeah, so and I use the name Rey Skywalker on purpose. I know that's controversial in its use. People say, no, it's Rey Palpatine. I totally get it. But it basically just surmises what the purpose of the character is. And that's what I was looking at with the comparison to Eve Kim. It's not, people were saying, oh, well, she struggled more than Rey. She wasn't as OP as Rey. Well, obviously these are two completely different universes, but it's the purpose of why the character exists that I drew that comparison. And it's just in the name. Rey just was, her entire existence was just to replace Luke Skywalker. And this is what the purpose of Eve Kim was. All of her identity is just to replace Sam Flynn. Like she also is a CEO of Encom. She also is doing all these things, video game designer. This is just what we're told at the opening minutes. We're not introduced.
Motorcycle, leather jacket.
She's why she has to also just drive a motor? Why? Mm-hmm. Why can't she just have her own identity? Yeah. And same thing with Rey. It's like she doesn't have an identity, but to just I'm the Force is female kind of thing. And we need a female in this situation. And we can't just have a well-written female character. It's embodied in all of the tropes of modern Hollywood stereotypes with a strong female character. And I feel like Rey Skywalker just represents the epitome of what that means. And Eve Kim, we're just told that she's the bestest ever. She's the best video game designer. She's popular. She's loved by everyone. ARES just aligns with her just because. He sees a news montage about her, and that was enough. We just don't see anything about what she's experiencing. There is no hero's journey. It's just forced upon us. It's just a series of events centered around this character, and there is no substance behind her, no motivation, no background, no context. It is simply just she's here simply to just take the place of Sam Flynn, who was unceremoniously, with the drop of one line, pushed out of the picture. And originally this script was conceived for the returning characters of Legacy. They had all signed on for that other film. So if in somewhere in this bones or skeleton of the script, clearly some of this stuff was originally supposed to be Sam Flynn wrestling with the death of his father that had just happened. And now she also has a sister who died. Yeah, it was clearly supposed to be a Flynn Dillinger going head to head, and that would have been interesting. But yes, just the entire purpose of the character is just to replace Sam Flynn, no other identity of her own besides that. So,
Elaine, you forget that her sister died. The other thing is, character. Your critics, I don't understand, but your critics, wouldn't they agree with the statement you just made?
I know they probably simped for Rey Skywalker at one point. That's what it seems like. They just moved on to something new.
Well, it was Gary from Nerdrotic that pointed out that basically the men make weapons. She made a tree. At the end of the movie, she solves starvation all over the world and fixes, diseases from her. So she's a healer, and the men,
all things Sam was supposed to do with Cora. The digital DNA of the ISO was supposed to completely change everything. And no,
right.
Yeah,
it's just her with her permanence code she discovered on the 80s fucking computer or something like that.
And again, she could have just been just a regular no-name person working at Dillinger Systems. And I think that would have been much more compelling. But she's just automatically given this backstory, this Wikipedia page of facts that used to be Sam Flynn. It's just given to her now. But that's not interesting. That's not character development. And when we're introduced to Sam Flynn in Legacy, it's just a father opening narration, and it turns out to be a conversation of a father-son. And we see their relationship. We see that they have a good relationship, and he's fascinated by the stories of the grid. That's storytelling. That's introducing us to the character. We had none of that in the entirety of this film. So if you can't get me to care about these characters, then that's why the comparison is drawn. So, something that's underwritten, no plan whatsoever. It's simply just to check a box. And frankly, it's insulting to it. No one likes this. If they're saying that, for women, we don't like this.
There's plenty of other people besides me that like it, but I mean, there are a lot of folks, and I'm saying outside of like the people that just constantly shill for Disney, I am seeing, at least within Criticless, there are more people, at least in this community, because that's mostly what we have on Criticless. There are, more people that dislike it than do, which is fine. And I absolutely get why people aren't. And it's kind of one of those things too, where I don't think like no one's over the moon about this movie. Even the people that are like, yeah, it's not bad. Like nobody's like, yeah, this is as good as Legacy, at least within this kind of sphere. So, but I guess my question is as well, because I really do think that there was likely a version that wasn't like this, right? Where and I can feel it in here, and you can feel it in the movie, but it is an absolute shame. And I think that we've seen Disney time and time again steamroll creators, change what they're making, insert all of this crap. So it's like I wonder if there was a version of this that wasn't so much of the girl boss stuff, the Rey Skywalkering of this, where like you said, that she's just some other side character next to Sam. Because I think that.
I guarantee there was, until the HR department got to look at the script. It was, if you've been watching our channel for a while, we've exposed how they have like checklists. They do have, there has to be a and there was that you can find it, Atomic Lori, the screen grabs from 4 different fantasy shows, and you really can't tell. Everybody's diverse, but the shows are unrecognizable because they're so generic. I don't have a problem with all types of characters, all types of ethnicities. Who cares? But when there's a sameness about it, where they're making the same decisions, it's almost like they sit there with the check boxes, making sure we've covered all our bases. So it makes everything generic and boring. That's my issue.
People are tired. Just to say, that's what it is, Blaine. People are tired of bad things. They're tired of, even if they know it's still true, hearing us point out all the bad things. And at a certain point, they just want the shelling to stop. They want to act like there's no more battle going on. And they just want to sit there and eat their MREs in peace. And a lot of us are like, right, but if we do that, we're just going to sit here in this horrible stalemate. We need to keep going because it's not, I get it. I'm tired too of seeing it all, but I cannot abide. I cannot abide. I try. Right. I steel man the shit out of James Gunn and Superman. Went to see it 3 times trying to convince myself and find something to like. I try to like everything, but I just can't ignore all the blatant affronts, like Nerd Cookies has pointed out. It just keeps happening.
Well, and that's the thing. They bludgeoned us to death to where our standards absolutely have lowered. Like, there is no denying that. So when anything is even kind of okay, some of us are just like, well, it wasn't total shit. Like, I kind of had a good time.
We're worth better. Everyone here is worth better.
Well, right. Tron is not a huge IP. Tron is not Marvel. Tron is not Star Wars. Tron is not Indiana Jones. But even Star Wars and Marvel and Indiana Jones can fail. There was just so much riding on this film. They just didn't care to write something good, even though 15 people had their mitts on it. And they should have given the fans what they wanted. They should have given people a great story. It could have been simple. It didn't have to be deep in the lore. Just give us a simple story with likable characters that doesn't trample on any existing events that already happened. And there you go. But they just assumed, because big budget and flashy lights and Jared Leto, I don't know, that people would just come and be happy to open up their wallets for this.
Well,
and
they've never respected this franchise either. None of us brought up the TV show. I freaking love the TV show. It's fantastic. They abandoned it after 1 single season.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. This is the tweet. Thank you, Steph, for sending this. From John A. Douglas. This is from 4 different TV shows. I think I can tell one. One of those is Willow.
Yeah.
Look at
Jesus.
Yeah, same costume designer.
That's Willow.
That's what I said. Do they have the same costume designer?
Was that blood?
It's the same outfit shows.
Yeah, that's Willow.
That's Willow. Yeah.
You can't tell
Wheel
what
of
the
Time.
world is. It's a fantasy world.
Blood Orange.
That's
generic.
Okay, yeah.
I think
Can I
I've
just
seen
say
that
all
coat
of
on
those
Amazon.
costumes, all of those
Wow.
costumes are terrible. I dislike all of these costumes simply because it doesn't look real. Like they don't look like they've lived within this world. Everybody is way too clean. They look like they're in a stage production. They don't look like these
Right.
are clothes that are worn that they use on a daily basis. You know, there's no holes in them. There's no rips and anything. It's way too clean, and that just really irks me, especially with shows like these, like fantasy shows. I can't stand how clean everything looks.
No verisimilitude.
It takes immediately will take me out of anything.
Happy
That
birthday, Robert.
actually I enjoyed from the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms trailer. That was the one thing that I specifically liked about it. There's like mud and dirt and it looks lived in. There's like an atmosphere. Like, oh, okay, this might be good.
Yeah.
You can get
I want the dirty
right?
clothes. I want the world to look. I want the characters to look like they actually live in the world. Like give them some grittiness. When it looks like all of their clothes have just been freshly laundered and they've put them on, hair looks great, makeup looks great. It just takes me out of it completely.
Look at Aragorn. Bro looked muddy as fuck. I know he slept outside sometimes to stay in character, but like he looked like he belonged in that world. Like he was going cross country. He looked like he's walking through muddy streets. Same thing with Game of Thrones.
And details like that matter. Like one thing about ARES, I did not like Jared Leto's beard and long hair. It stood out as strange against everything that we've seen prior to this. Just didn't look.
Have that.
Yeah, everyone should look clean and sleek. And why does he have it? Why does he look the same in every role that he's in? I can't be immersed into this world when he literally looks like he just came off the set of Morbius.
My headcanon was that he had looked up the history of ARES and that's how he thought ARES looked. And so he modified himself. I can headcanon a lot of shit away and find enjoyment in it. Like that, Jared was the best part about that movie to me. And the only time I smiled is the stupid color change at the end, which didn't make sense. But like, yeah, I'll try. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to like shit. But there's certain things that I can't.
He had his long hair and beard because that's just his look. That's Jared Leto's look. Yeah. That's his daily, everyday look.
Especially at the end. At the end, he's just
Jared Leto. Jared Leto.
Don't tell me that this man is a method actor who refuses to cut his hair and shave for his roles.
He can't go on stage with 30 seconds to
around the set, having to call him like ARES or something because he's so method in this movie, yet he refused to get clean cut for it to actually look like a program.
Well, when he played the Joker in Suicide Squad, in that brief part we saw him in, he was full method, was in character the whole time, and sent dead rats, to all of his castmates just to freak them out. I don't know. It is what it is.